Hey, Nichole Huntsman here. All right, I am here to help you figure out what to buy for that person on your list this year. That's a tricky, tough one to find presents for. So what we're going to do, we are going to take a peek at this person, or maybe it's you, or maybe it's someone maybe it's your whole family. You want to sit down with a notepad and make a list here. Instead of looking at the person's sun sign, we're going to look at their moon sign. So for those of you who are new to astrology, if you're saying, what is a moon sign? Go to astro.com and go to their extended chart selection, and you can create a birth chart for yourself. You just need your birth date, of course, your birth time, and the city. So if you don't have the birth time, that's okay. You can go ahead and put your birth date in with a noon birth time. But because the moon changes signs every about 2.5 days, there's a good chance that your moon, it's possibly you were born on a day it changed signs. So birth certificate time, written time, those are always preferable, okay? Now, why are we going to use the moon? Why not use, I don't know, Mercury or someone's Venus maybe? Now, a couple of reasons. First of all, a person's moon, if you think about the moon as an object, as a celestial object, it's, of course, the closest to us here on Earth, meaning from our perspective, it's the quickest. And it does obviously make its rotation every about, lunar month for us. And so around the Earth. So it's quick. So that makes it more personal. That moment you were born, it's not just the date you were born, but it's the time and the location. It's kind of a little freeze frame of the fabric of space-time. It sort of freezes it right in that moment, and you walk into existence, and you become a conscious, well, babies are sort of unconscious, but you become a part of the fabric of existence. When you take that first breath, you separate from the mother. So moon, it is the part of us, I believe, that is developed while we are in the mother's womb. Once I think the brain has developed enough to sort of hear sounds or perhaps to feel primary emotions. For mothers stressed while pregnant, I would imagine that things like adrenaline and cortisol that are in her blood stream might also cross over the placental barrier and enter the baby's bloodstream. So like the mother's sort of emotional state maybe may perhaps affect the baby's development, but then also when that baby is born, they're unconscious, right? Like the tabula rasa idea, I suppose. The world around them, they're learning every day new things, and they're learning when they have discomfort or pain, how does the world respond? And of course, our first primary caregiver tends to be the mother. So your moon is developed in a sense, you're born during a certain time. The moon you were born under, it's just the moon you were born under, right? It's like a clock. So your mother wasn't necessarily like an Aries or literally an Aries if you have an Aries moon, but the way you perceived your emotional needs being met by this initial, caregiver, it's going to be seen through an Aryan lens. Okay, so that being said, the moon in a person's chart shows you how that person unconsciously, from a very deep rooted, psychologically rooted place as a human, how they experience existence. And the human experience, of course, is tied to emotion, right? We know that memories that we have that tend to stick with us longer are those when we have adrenaline, or we have a flood of adrenaline because it's a scary experience, and that imprints the memory on our brain. So point being, emotion is really powerful, and if you can find a gift for somebody that speaks to that part of that person, voila. All right, so that's my sort of preamble. Go to astro.com. You can pause this, go to astro.com. I'll put a link below, and then come back. So if you're buying for a Scorpio moon, now Scorpio, this is a water sign. It's a fixed water sign, and that means it's an emotional. This has to do with emotional undercurrents. People who are Scorpio moons, many times, their development through their childhood and into adulthood is one where they have experienced emotional content at a time, maybe right before they were really ready to understand what they were experiencing. They may have experienced their parents getting divorced and walking in and seeing their mother crying one night, sobbing uncontrollably, and the mother thought the door was locked, but it wasn't. It's like they have been privy to a world that there's a part of them that kind of maybe knew or felt like, I don't know if I was supposed to see that, or I don't know if I was supposed to know that, and I don't know what to do with that material. Or maybe we have a mother who was not expecting the pregnancy. The baby came unexpected. I have a Scorpio moon child, and just in case she ever watches this, you were planned for and expected. So it's not the case with you. But it can be tied to the actual childbirth itself. It can be a childbirth where there was trauma or something about the childbirth was high risk or dangerous or there's hemorrhaging or etc. Life or death stuff. I feel like there's deeper themes with Moon and Scorpio people. They've dealt with death, I believe, in past lives. So I feel like they're the types who have lost those that they've loved, maybe lost their mother, or perhaps their wife, or perhaps their family dealt with death in some way, shape, or form, or dealt with power even, and little dirty secrets that have to be kept in order to, keep the family's power. So, sorry about that. It's a water sign. I need some water for my throat. So as far as gifts go, because the Scorpio moon, their emotional material is powerful, and you can't ignore Scorpio. It's like having the stomach flu. You need to throw up. You can't ignore it, right? You're either gonna lay there and be miserable, or you could and wait for the vomit to come, or you could go throw up, make yourself throw up, and get it over with. So Scorpio emotions are the same way. There's this process of purging. They'll have stuff come up, and they have to figure out, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling jealous? Or why am I feeling angry? Or why am I obsessed about this person? Or why am I repressing this and holding this thing in? Or why do I assume the worst? Why do I think that this person, I'm going to be madly in love with them and they're going to reject me? Whatever it is for that Scorpio moon. Letting them know that you're with them. If it's a mystical Scorpio moon, go get a reading at a tarot card reader, or maybe a psychic reading. Or if you've got a family member that's passed on, they might be interested in going to one of those psychic, we have a big group, like a big group of people, and one psychic, they're doing readings, like a medium doing readings, even if it's just to go do just out of interest. This is, for your mystical. If they enjoy tarot, buy them a tarot set, a deck of cards, or and get them a book to help them understand the tarot. Help them with the journey of going inside of their unconscious. And if they enjoy dream journaling, and helping them to explore, what do these archetypes mean for you? You dreamt about a bird last night flying through your bedroom window, Maybe that means you sense that a message is coming to you, or what have you. Having conversations with them even. Just sitting, and you maybe have the gift exchange of Christmas, but then also make sure that you schedule in some time with your Scorpio moon person, to one-on-one, just the two of you, to sit and have a conversation that's deeper. If there's something that needs to be talked about that's buried, that's a gift. Bring that to the surface for your Scorpio moon, because they won't know necessarily how to ask for that conversation. And if there's wounding there for this person, many times they need another person who shows them, I'm brave and I can handle whatever you have inside of you. So a lot of times Moon and Scorpios feel like their emotional material is bigger than they are. And if they let it out, that it will consume them and the people they love, and everybody will run away from them in horror because they're a monster, and they repress that. So if they know that they're safe and they can show you their mysteries, and that's actually what makes you beautiful and human, and that we all have them, then that will help them. So maybe a transformational class, maybe like a retreat or a workshop with someone like Anthony Robbins, or something even more spiritual. Maybe it's like a yoga retreat. Maybe it's something that helps them to bring up from inside of themselves material that's trapped and stuck that they need to get out. They need to purge through some sort of psychological growth, self-development process. I think would be good. Something fun too would be hide something in the house, somewhere where there's no clues other than there's something hidden in the house that you need to find. You can maybe tell them the size of it or something, and then they have to find it. Promise you they will love that. And make sure you hide it, or maybe do a little hunt. I don't know. I have a moon in the 8th, so I just think that would be so fun. And my deep chart moon's in Gemini, so maybe this is just me, but my daughter that's moon in Scorpio, she would really love that. Also, they many times will have an obsession of some kind. It could be like, speaking of my daughter, she really loves a certain singer, and really, really, really loves her, or will really love a certain line of clothing or type of shoes or whatever, and recognizing that and celebrating it, and listening to them when they tell you, I would like X, Y, Z. Because sometimes Moon and Scorpios can feel like, other people's emotions, have control of their world. And so that's why many times they're afraid of expressing what they're really wanting for fear of a reaction from this other person who might then try to control things by controlling them, by maybe running away from them or by rejecting them in some way, shape, or form, rejecting their feelings, whatever they are. That's why the occult studies are great, like the Tarot is wonderful for helping people dive into their own archetypes. What's the mother archetype look like for your Scorpio moon? Etc. Jung. Any books by Jung for anyone who's an older Scorpio moon. And I dated a Sagittarius, like a quadruple Sag with a Scorpio moon. That was an interesting combination. Somebody who emotionally feels things really deeply and compulsively, almost like all or nothing, all in or not, And they many times will fixate. They love someone. I have a moon in the 8th. Again, I do the same thing. Fixate on someone or something that they are really, it's like we're drawn to it because we know that there's something there that needs to be done. There's work there that has to happen that's not finished yet. And we can't quit it until it's finished. It's tied to Pluto. So it has to do with reincarnational material. So Scorpio moons feel things really intensely for a reason. They're processing emotional trauma. Another wonderful gift would be that if you've ever seen there was a study done where they had people sit across from each other and look at each other in the eyes, and they would ask simple questions that started with, they're all personal questions, but they started very sort of surfacey, what's your favorite, I don't know, who would you have at a dinner party, that kind of thing. And then they move all the way to very personal at the 36th question. And in between, you ask the partner the question and they ask you, and then you look at each other in each other's eyes for, I think it's a minute or something. And you don't have to maybe do it that extreme, or do. It's a Scorpio moon. If it's a romantic partner, definitely do. They will love this. The more raw and exposed you can be for a Scorpio moon, if you're brave in that space, there's not a better person. If they've let you in, if they love you and they've let you in, you can blast that wide open, and it will only go deeper and deeper and deeper with that person. Okay. Just be prepared because it's all or nothing. It's like black or white if they love you. Another thing is that if you do some private time with them, no interruptions, no phone, nothing but you and this person, lots of eye contact. Maybe go online and read how to be a good active listener, that sort of thing. And you got to do some work with Scorpio moons to get them to open up. They need to feel like what they're going to share with you is safe and that you care, or else they feel rejected. And they'll just be like, never mind. I'm not going to share it. Okay. Another, I think, kind of fun, gifty thing would be a lot of times Scorpio moons try to present themselves in ways that are like that they're tougher than they really are. Depends on the whole chart. But if they like to see themselves as someone who's got it together and emotionally like, oh, you can't hurt me kind of a thing, I'll just bounce back from whatever, then I love like black leather jacket, and I think of my former boyfriend. That's hilarious because I can't imagine him in a black leather jacket. But, anything that sort of makes them feel cool. So even just clothing that make them feel like they're a cool kid. They don't care. They're like, no big deal, cool rock t-shirt, graphic tee or something that's a little bit punk or a little bit rebellious or a little bit just, I don't care what you think, sort of. Or I'm going to go wear black. They like black a lot of times. But anyway. Okay, we'll stop here. I'm sure there's lots more. Oh, actually, I did think of another one that I think is such a great example. This might spark your thinking hats. In the movie The Piano by Jane Campion, there's a scene where, I forget the characters' names, but the woman in the movie, played by Holly, Hunter, right? She pulls out the key of the piano, and she takes a tool, an implement that's hot, and she writes some words on this key that's hidden. It's going to be hidden back in the piano because the man who repairs her piano is the guy that she's having like an affair with. So only he will see this message. That kind of thing. If you've built a house for the first time with your partner and you find a spot in the house where you can write something on a stud or hide a note somewhere in the house that will be there for perpetuity until the house falls down, that kind of thing. Yes, do that. They're sentimental. There's life and death. They want all or nothing. So go all in. All right. So I hope that was helpful for you. And of course, last but not least, for your friend, whatever their moon placement is, astrology reading is always a great way to help a person better understand themselves. And so I'm actually doing a little sale here to celebrate 2019 that's coming up. We've got a lot of big changes with Uranus, of course, ingressing back into Taurus. Kind of he popped his head in there this last year. He's kind of hanging out back in Aries right now. But he'll be back in Taurus, and he's not going to go back into Aries again. A lot of big changes this next year for people when it comes to the structure in their world that gives them a sense of security, job security, relationship security, financial security. Lots of themes that if the old way of doing things, that's changing when it comes to how you invest your money or how you buy a house. And my good friend was saying she thinks there's going to be a lot more barter and trade and jobs. The job market's going to be shifting. And we've got a global economy that we're all dealing with, technology shifts and changes. So point being, this next year is a big year. And if you thought that 2018 was a little tricky, me personally, I don't even remember 2018. I'm like, wait, what? Hold on. I still feel like it's January, kind of a crazy year. 2019 has some unique challenges. It's got some beautiful pieces too. Every year there's no good nor bad. But I'd be happy to help you navigate those, like how personally it might show up in your life, as well as people that you love and care about. So I'm doing they're 40-minute forecasts. They're shorter, kind of mini forecasts, which frankly, it's more concentrated. So we'll do a look at your progress chart, and then we'll do a look at your solar return chart. I do it in 2 sections. It's a little video recording just like this, addressed to you, and it's uploaded onto a private or an unlisted YouTube playlist for you to watch. So it's and then you can ask me questions if you have any. Let me know if you're interested, and the way you do that, you go to my website, and on the website you can see the calendar, the schedule. You can pick the time. The time is not exact necessarily. It's just because I can only take so many people per day. So at the end of the day, you get your link and you get your video that you can watch. You can pay for it there on the website. You pay for it. You do it all. It's very easy. And I take credit cards, debit cards, all that normal good stuff, PayPal, etc. It's very easy, and hopefully it's something where we can do a little work together. It can make your upcoming year be something that you're prepared for the weather. You got your umbrella or your boots or your tank top, what have you. Okay, hope you all have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Festivus. If you don't celebrate, whatever it is, stay safe, and thank you so much for all of your support on my channel. And this has been a real wild ride. Okay, take care. All right, bye-bye.